It's this epic disaster. Welcome to another show.
Hello, how are you?
I hope everyone is doing excellent out there.
I hope so too.
I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling good.
Are you?
Yeah, I just had a nice little calzone.
Me too.
That was pretty good, I think.
It was pretty good, but now my stomach is going, why did you eat the whole thing?
My stomach is like, can I have two more? Speaking of two more, I feel like we should crack open a beer to make the calzone complete the process, let's say.
Okay. So let me tell you what we're drinking. Today we're having Pontoon Brewing Surf Rock Candy Shandy. It's a collaboration with Repeat.
I have no idea what any of that means. I do know there's a cute little, couple of cute little otters on the, I don't know if they're river or sea otters on the can. The liquid inside is very cloudy and kind of gold.
That's because it is a Hefeweizen with with pineapple and mango.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Why didn't we read that? I wouldn't have gotten it.
Well, it says candy on the front.
Pineapple's not candy.
What did you think it was going to be?
I don't know. There's all kinds of candy. It could be chocolate candy for all I know.
We have a pint can each, and it is 6.5% alcohol by volume.
All right. It doesn't smell too pineapple-y, so maybe it's all right.
All right. You go ahead and taste yours while I pour mine.
For those who don't know, maybe they're new to the podcast, we do this every week, live beer review. We have a beer during the podcast, and then we tell you what we think about it. We've never had this beer on the podcast before, and that's the rules.
That's the rules. You can't have a beer that you've had on the podcast already.
Oh, okay.
That was an interesting face and some sounds that you got going on there.
Not what I expected, but
it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. Okay. I mean, it's a Hefeweizen, I can tell you that much.
Did you say Hefeweizen? What did you call it?
It's a Hefeweizen.
All right. I'll let you know at the end what I think about it. Oh man. All right. What's going on? How you doing? How's your week? How's everything going?
So far so good. Mm-hmm. Had a couple of clients this morning at work that started right away. Started the day off.
Oh. That's
right
always
there.
Fun. Mm-hmm.
But you know what? It turned out fine.
Okay.
Everything is fine.
Things are usually fine?
Fine.
Yeah. So, I'm having my first gallery event this week.
I know. I'm going to be there.
It should be fun, I think. And I'll be disappointed if no one shows up. But
I'll be there.
You'll be there. You're there all the time for anything.
What?
But I do think that more people, so far that we've had a lot of people who have said they're going to be there. So we're going to be serving some wine, probably some beer. I know some little snacky foods.
Snacky foods?
Well, like my wife has got a shrimp cocktail or something worked out. I don't know. But
interesting.
Anyway, everybody's just going to kind of eat and look at art, I guess. I guess that's what you do at one of these kind of events.
That sounds like fun.
There's no like stripping, there's no sports, there's no weird stuff. It just look at art and
there's not going to be a naked dancing lady in the corner.
Not yet. I do plan that on all of my gallery openings,
I think
as
you
know.
Every other gallery you open,
yes, we'll have
naked dancing lady.
That should be a thing. Would you rather have naked dancing or clothed dancing at a gallery opening?
Who's dancing?
I don't know. Anybody.
Anybody that wants to dance?
Anybody dance? I don't know.
Then definitely clothed dancing.
All right, so let's do a little Would You Rather.
All right, let's do it.
We also do this every show, a little Would You Rather. It's a game of
Would You Rather.
Would You Rather. So we drop a color stone.
And then that corresponds
to what question. And then everybody out there gets a little insight on us. Little us insight. Where's your glasses? What do you do with your glasses?
They're on my face.
Oh, they are. Okay. All right, so drop your blue stone. I was going to say green because I saw it lined up right there. I should have changed it, then I would have looked like I was psychic. All right, green is ethics and intellect. Would you rather not have the ability to add or to spell?
I can't spell now.
I can't do either of them.
I need a calculator to add. So, I'm going to go with...
as you are now.
As you were. Yes. let's just continue on. I think if I had to choose between the two, calculators are everywhere now. They're on your phone and everything. And spell check is kind of a bitch that doesn't really always know what it is you're trying to spell. So I'd rather not have. I'd rather have the ability to spell and not be able to add.
I want to know who writes these questions, because some weeks we'll have questions like, would you rather chew on a cat's butt all day long?
Right?
And then this one is just like, would you not be able to spell?
It's very
varied.
Very varied.
All right, my turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
All righty then. Not even going to guess.
You're going to drop a green one.
Red.
It's yellow. Apparently neither of us is psychic. Did you say you said neither? I said neither. Which is correct?
I don't know. Neither.
Neither.
I don't want to guess. I have to guess. It's almost an obsessive thing. Have you ever?
We just talked about your obsessions last week.
Totally. Have you? Are you the kind of person, like, if you're walking down a sidewalk, you cannot step on a crack?
No.
You're not.
I'm not that kind of person.
I am that. And I will twist my ankle not to step on a crack. It's so stupid because I'm not in any way a superstitious person, but my mind says don't step on a crack. And so it's a weird little obsessive thing, but it's just like this. I don't want to guess it, but even when I tell myself I'm not going to guess it, I guess it.
When you turn off lights, do you touch them again to make sure it turned all the way off?
No, I never do that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I do that.
No,
like if I turn, you know how you just reach over and turn the light switch, or you do it on your way out the door or something? Yeah. I will stop and make sure that it's switched all the way off. Like somehow it's going to be like halfway there. Yeah. And shit's just going to spark out of it. My whole house is going to burn down.
I think it's funny because, I'm a theater person and I did theater. And so in theater, the lights, like if you're doing a scene where you have to turn a light off.
Right.
That's not connected to the lights.
No, it's not.
It's just a switch.
Right.
And then the light person
turns the light
does the lights.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to coordinate those. So what you learn to do in theater is you just basically kind of run your hand down the light switch, and then the light person turns it off, because you don't want them to see you flipping the switch, because you just can't coordinate it.
Yeah.
And I was watching some YouTube video the other day, and they were actually showing well-known movies where the light switches weren't coordinated to the actual light.
That's so funny.
So it's also in film, which I think is interesting.
Well, of course, yeah. And then, with the whole, what's the name? The people that do the sounds in movies, like the footsteps.
A Foley artist.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Those people are talented.
It's very fascinating. Yeah, I would have liked to have done that.
It would.
Kind of fun.
Sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like fun.
All right, so
it's your turn.
What did I drop? A green?
I don't
yellow?
even remember. It was yellow. It was yellow because I said green, you said blue. It came out yellow.
It was yellow.
All right, so yellow is random.
Wow.
Would you rather always have to express your opinion,
okay,
or never be able to make up your mind?
Oh, I kind of like that one.
I think you do both of those now.
I used to be much more an opinion expresser than I am now.
That's true.
In fact, I don't have a lot of strong opinions that much anymore.
You just gotta go with the flow.
I don't really go with the flow. I go with my own flow.
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You just take yourself in your direction and leave it to other people to figure their direction out.
I don't particularly need my opinion validated.
Right. You've reached that age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
true.
It's a good place to be.
It is, because you're like, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I do.
Move on the other hand, one show we'll talk about my wife.
That's a completely different story.
Holy crap.
If you don't know her opinion already, just wait.
Dang.
Give it 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You will.
I have some stories about that one.
So speaking of stories, every day is a story into itself.
That sounds like the beginning of a soap opera.
These are the days of the month.
Mm-hmm.
National days of the month, as a matter of fact.
Days of the week, yeah.
This week,
okay.
Yes. So for this week, we're going to start with today, which is Monday the 9th.
Okay.
And I think, yes. And it is National Book Lovers Day.
Oh, that's me.
Do you know what I started doing? I started not turning off, but putting my phone down and going to bed and reading an actual book.
I've done that a little bit, but I still fall asleep.
But see, that's the point, is I'm trying to get good sleep. And, all the studies that have said for years and years and years about using, your screens and stuff right before bed, you're not going to get good sleep. I have actually noticed a difference.
Oh, that's good.
I spend anywhere from even just 20 minutes up to an hour reading. And it's nothing that's overly emotional, and it's nothing that, needs me to think a whole lot. It's just a book,
I've read a lot of books recently, too. I kind of got back on that a little bit.
It'll help you sleep, for real. It will.
I do like to combine them, though. I do like books on my iPad.
I cannot stand reading ebooks.
I used to not, but I've got to where I like it now.
Not for me.
Because I like to turn the light off in the bedroom and still read. So it's the only way I can
do you use the dark background with the white letters?
Sometimes I'll do that.
Yeah. Which one strains your eyes more?
Do not know the answer to that.
They're just strained.
We'll have to consult an ophthalmologist for that one.
All right. So Tuesday, August the 10th, is something I could use. National Shapewear Day.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Glad I didn't say what was on my mind.
Don't tell me what I could use.
I didn't.
I especially need that shapewear because it's also National S'mores Day.
Oh, no. I'm not a big s'mores person. I don't have to worry about that too much.
I'm not either, but I like the chocolate and the graham cracker.
I like... So I would like s'mores ice cream or s'mores flavored stuff.
I like
so
that
much the s'mores.
Yeah, I like that smoky flavor that the marshmallow gets. I just don't like marshmallow.
Yeah, I'm not a big marshmallow fan.
So,
I don't mind the flavor.
Right.
It's just that kind of spongy, nasty sponge thing in your mouth.
Yeah, it's like a peep in your mouth.
It's like a sponge, nasty sponge thing in your mouth.
So what was that question we asked earlier? Would you rather?
Do not be able to describe a marshmallow.
All right, let's talk about Wednesday. Wednesday is the 11th. It is National Presidential Joke Day.
Oh, no.
Do you have any?
No, but I can sense them going to be here.
Send them to us, because I don't have any.
The dad of our country jokes.
I will find some by the end of this podcast, though, and share them with
one?
you.
No.
Yes, I will.
There's got to be some presidential dad jokes, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll find several. While you're blathing on about whatever, I'll be looking them up.
What?
Thursday, the 12th, National Vinyl Record Day.
Oh, I still have a few of those left over. Do you?
You do? I don't.
I have a player. I probably should get some more, but I don't know. I'm one of those people that I love CDs.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with that.
Right.
Because I never like the pops and the cracks in the vinyl, and some people like that. And I can tolerate that okay, but all of my records is like, this actually happened. Like, if you grew up in the album era, LP era,
right,
you know what I'm talking about. You would buy a brand new album and bring it home, and it would skip.
Yep.
Still,
yep.
Even though it's brand new. There was dust or something in it, and it would still skip. And that was so disappointing, because most of the time, I don't know, I don't think you could take them back then. You couldn't go back to the record bar and be like, here's the album skips. And then
they'd be like, so will the next one I give you. It's fine. Get over it.
We don't know any other way to do it. Wait till the 80s. But when CDs came along, and I was like, what are you telling me? It's never going to skip, and of course it will. But,
right.
But like albums, like LPs, and they were, you didn't
have to go over and move the needle.
No.
Right.
And so that was good for me. And so now, I do streaming all the time. Like I have Apple Music.
Yeah.
You can listen to anything.
Yeah.
It's right there.
It's right there. Right there for you.
I just listen to all stuff.
My favorite sound of the vinyl, like you mentioned, the popping and the crackling.
Yeah.
You know when you get to the end of the record and the needle goes and then comes back and then goes and all it is that popping and cracking?
Yeah.
I could do that all day long.
Really, it's kind of ASMR-y stuff.
A little bit, but not as in your face and, all up in your ears. What was your first album that you purchased?
Oh, there's no way I can know that.
I know mine.
The first I purchased?
Yeah.
I don't know.
First album I ever bought for myself was Missing Persons.
Okay.
The Walking in LA one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not me.
Not you. You were probably a bit ahead of me.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I bought Barry Manilow Live, the double album, when I was in high school. And I don't know that was the first one I ever purchased, but it was close.
Yeah.
Now, I had albums that were purchased for me, or that, I don't know, I think my dad gave me and things. But that was one of the first I purchased myself, I would guess.
Nice. Very well done.
A lot of Kiss albums.
Used to stop at Tower Records.
Oh, yeah.
Every, 2 weeks on my way home from school because I had enough money to buy a record album.
So today, I pretty much the only records that I would buy, albums, LPs, whatever you call it, vinyl, old comedy records I like to buy.
Yeah.
I have a little collection.
Because that's harder to stream.
Yeah, it's harder to find.
Yeah.
A lot of them are out of print, but you know, and not just like Bill Cosby or whatever, but I mean like a little more obscure stuff I like.
Like who?
I don't know. I mean, George Carlin's not obscure, but I mean I like Carlin. But every once in a while you'll find like Shecky Green or something like that.
Right.
You know, it's like the only album he did, and Shecky might have done more. I don't know, but Buddy Hackett or a lot of comics who might have performed in clubs and were well known, but only did like one album or something. And it's fun listening to like old Red Fox stuff.
Yeah,
things like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Okay, so I think we're on to Friday. Yes, we are. Friday. Friday is the 13th.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true. Friday 13th.
August 13th is Friday. It is, what is this? National Blame Someone Else Day.
Oh, okay. I try to celebrate that every day.
Actually, so it's not necessarily August 13th that is that day. That day is actually the first Friday the 13th of the year. So whenever month that falls in.
How did they arrange
is
that?
National Blame Someone Else Day.
All right.
So I've got lots of things to blame on other people. Okay. I don't know about you.
I like blaming a fart on other people. That's usually what I like to do.
But what happens if you get caught?
Who's gonna? How do they catch you? They've got a meter or something to hold up to your butt. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Baldwin. That was you.
Methane meter. All right. So August 14th, Saturday.
Fart police.
Did you?
All right, we're coming to get you now.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. So.
It wasn't me.
August 14th is National VJ Day.
I'm hoping that is what I think it is, and not some crazy woman.
I didn't say VJJ Day.
Do they even have VJs anymore?
No.
Can you name the original MTV VJs?
Oh God, I can picture one of them.
I think I can name them all.
Oh, that reminds me. Last week, I totally forgot. Last week, Sunday, I think it was the 8th. No, Sunday, whatever day it was, the 1st was come on, Cheri, the anniversary of MTV first being broadcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the radio stations were playing a lot of old music that some of the first videos were made from. It was kind of fun. But okay, so the VJs from MTV, who was that guy? Okay, well there's was it Downtown Julie Brown?
Oh, that's the second era, or
That's
even
the
third.
okay.
The original VJs.
The original was the dude with the spiky hair?
No, there was no spiky hair original.
The dude with the long hair.
Original ones had no long hair.
Interesting.
You're thinking of Adam, was it Curry? Adam Curry.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And he actually, if I'm not mistaken, he was actually the one who discovered MTV or created MTV.
Yeah.
But he wasn't an original VJ. Original VJ, Mark Goodman.
Okay.
Curly hair.
Okay.
Alan Hunter, Martha Quinn, J.J. Jackson, Nina Blackwood.
How the hell do you do that?
It's just buried in my head.
You just went digging. I mean, you had to dig deep for that.
I couldn't remember Alan Hunter's last name, but then it popped in my head. So, yeah.
That is so interesting how you can do that. It's a little spooky. actually.
Well, I was in college in the 80s. That was like a huge thing,
Yeah, and you were very into videos.
Man, I would stay up. I don't know what it is. I would stay up till, because Nina Blackwood was like the after midnight girl. Mm-hmm. And there was just like a short little time in my life when I just developed a huge crush on her. And I would just stay up to watch her. Mm-hmm. She was just like this sexy rock chick, Martha Quinn was like the girl next door. She was cute. She was sort of like a music nerd, but she was very cute. But she was like your sister. Mm-hmm. And then Nina Blackwood was like
MTV After Dark.
The mom next door. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, I stayed up to watch her.
Interesting.
And, yeah, mm-hmm. And I think I don't want to say that. I was going to say I think J.J. Jackson died. So I think he's the only original that's not alive.
Oh, okay. Well, that's too bad.
Now, I can't do any after that. You did say Julie Brown. I remember that.
Uh-huh.
Her catchphrase was?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
No.
She used to always say, webba, webba, webba. You don't remember that?
No.
Wow.
I was on a lot of drugs then.
Uh-huh.
A lot of drugs.
But I don't remember. Rosie O'Donnell was a VJ on VH1 for a while.
See, I couldn't name anybody from VH1.
That's how she got. Well, she was a stand-up. But,
right. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Sunday fun day.
Full of all kinds of trivia that no one cares
No
about.
one cares. I'm moving on. Sunday, the last day of the week, is National Relaxation Day. That's what I plan to do this Sunday.
Oh, that's good.
Relax.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the days of the week.
Nice.
I know we kind of blew through them, but that's fine.
Okay.
Sometimes you just blow through things.
Sometimes you gotta. Speaking of blow through, I'm trying to make a decision on something right now.
What's up?
I'm trying to decide if I want to grow my hair back out. For a while, I had my pretty long hair. Mm-hmm. I don't mean pretty.
It was pretty, though.
It was pretty long.
It was pretty long, and it was pretty.
And I just got tired of it. I was like, no more. But it happens. I start getting that little feeling like, I kind of want my long hair back.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if I should do it. Because it's about a year commitment, probably.
Yeah, it is.
And as I get older, it doesn't grow as fast.
Right.
And then I think about when I cut it, I was so glad to get rid of it. And I didn't think it looked as good. I didn't feel as good with it. But now I want it back.
Well, just start growing it, and if you lose interest, cut it.
I kind of did. It was sort of long for a while, and then I cut it.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking,
make the commitment and do it.
Should I do it? Do you think it should? Does long hair look good on dudes over 60? I mean, if you're on Outlander, okay, sure, or some kind of English drama, that's going to look good. But just some schmo here in Atlanta, long hair on an old dude, does that look good?
Your hair, when it's long, looks best when you put product in it. I mean, it doesn't look bad without it, but the last time you had long hair, it could get a little frizzy. But your hair gets frizzy anyways.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
It's
curly. I have curly hair.
You have curly hair. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know.
What does your wife think?
I haven't asked her, but she likes long hair. She likes short. She likes it both ways.
It's your hair.
She likes it all ways. But I don't know. I don't know what she would say. I'm going to ask her.
Okay.
See what she says. Maybe
I think her opinion's a little bit more important than mine.
Maybe. She doesn't. She's not one of those kind of people that tells me what to do.
No, she doesn't.
She'll just let me do what I want to do.
Because it's your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's your body, your hair.
All right.
You got to look at yourself every day.
I don't know. I'm going to make a decision here really soon just to figure out which way I want to go with it.
Yeah, I say just try it and see how long you can stand it, and then
I want to do something we haven't done in a while, and I hope our listeners will stick with us.
What's that?
I got some trivia.
Nuh-uh.
Now, occasionally we'll do that. We'll do a little bit of trivia here, and I've decided I want to do some trivia. This is just generic trivia that I have found interesting.
Okay.
That I want to share. And it might be trivia that you could share with others. And this is true. The first one kind of hurts.
Oh, it hurt? Like painful? Like physically painful?
You will know when I read what I'm talking about. And I didn't plan this. It's just this one was here. The rock band ZZ Top has had the same members without any changes since 1970.
70.
Which is not good because one of them just died. Yeah.
Dusty,
the bass player, just died, so ends that streak.
Yeah,
And but from what I understand, he's been a little under the weather. He's had, I think he had hip surgery or something like that, and he hasn't been able to get around. So their bass guitar tech has been performing for him.
Oh,
so they've actually, I guess that streak was ruined a little while back. But,
yeah.
But then he died in his sleep, which is sad.
That is sad.
It's a great ZZ Top documentary on Netflix.
What's it called?
I can't remember, but it's just look for one.
Okay. There can't be more than that.
And I'm not a huge ZZ Top fan, but I learned a lot about him that I didn't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I will look for it.
Okay. I saw one of them, and I think it was, I can't remember. It was the short guy, and that would be Dusty, the one that died.
Uh-huh.
But in my mind, it looks like Billy Gibbons, the one that didn't die.
Right.
But one of them I saw in Hard Rock Cafe years ago when I was in New York.
I think you told me that.
Yeah, he was sitting like right across from me.
Interesting.
With a woman.
Oh, woman.
Having a good time. Yeah.
Okay.
More trivia. Julia Stewart, who worked as a waitress at an IHOP for 16 years. No, she worked as a waitress at IHOP at 16 years old.
Okay, so she was 16.
Yeah, she worked her way up through various jobs to become a president at Applebee's.
Interesting.
After being passed up for CEO, she returned to IHOP, became the CEO of IHOP, and then bought Applebee's.
I love it.
So
that's a big old bird.
That's your revenge.
There you go.
Right there. All right. Blowing out birthday candles increases the bacteria on the cake by 1,400%.
As a matter of fact,
Nasty.
Just the other day, your wife made me a birthday cake. And she was so excited. She went and she got a candle, just one candle. She put it in the cake and she was looking for a lighter. And I told her, I said, I'm probably just going to use my hand to blow it out. And she just got pissed.
Oh.
She's like, that's right. We can't blow on cakes anymore. And she ripped that candle out of the cake and she went and she rinsed it off and she put it in the drawer.
She's a germaphobe.
She was like, she was so mad.
Hooters once offered employees the chance to win a Toyota when the winning waitress was given a toy Yoda action figure as a prank. She sued, and she won enough money to pick out whichever Toyota she wanted.
Wow.
That's a mean joke.
That is very mean.
Yeah.
Like, what did she have to do to win? That's what I'm worried about.
At Hooters? I have no idea.
Yeah.
In 1518, a dancing plague stuck Strasbourg, Alsace. Never heard of that place. Where's Alsace? Alsace, Alsace.
Alsace.
Whereby hundreds of people danced fervently in the streets over the period of a month.
And they couldn't stop.
Some suffered heart attacks and strokes.
Yep.
And many others died from sheer exhaustion, and it remains unexplained.
Exactly.
Just went out and danced. That's weird.
I've read a little bit about it.
Or something?
It's some sort of they never figured it out.
That's bizarre.
I mean, you'd think it would have to be some sort of like restless leg syndrome or something. Maybe something in the water.
This one creeps me out. Adam West and Frank Gorshin were once kicked out of an orgy because they insisted on staying in character of Batman and the Riddler. We're talking the 60s version. Now, I had heard, because I've heard Dick Grayson, Burt Ward played Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson was Robin. Mm-hmm. Played by Burt Ward. Adam West played Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah.
All right, so Burt Ward he used to go to orgies all the time, and he and Adam West, can you imagine going to an orgy with your work dude? It's like you're going to see him naked having sex with the same women you're having sex with, and everybody's having sex together. And then Frank Gorshin, the Riddler, comes along, and he's having sex. I heard that on the Batman set, all those people had so many. They went to orgies all the time.
Did they all have sex together with each other?
I don't know the end, and I don't want to know. It creeps me out. I just wonder if this was happening on Batman. Mm-hmm. What other sitcoms and TV shows were bonking everybody. I mean,
Get Smart.
Dawn Adams is over there. 99. What was it? Her name 99. Yeah. I don't know. I actually did the hip movements. Nobody could see that except Cheri, unfortunately. And he's got the shoe fetish, and he's trying to call the chief.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just creeps me out that these people are orgying. And I just think, who else? Because, the only other person that I know from that era that I heard used to have regular orgies was on Hollywood Squares, Charlie Weaver, the old man. They said he was like always doing orgies. And apparently that was a big thing back then.
Free love in the 60s.
I know it was going on. I want to know who was doing it, and I don't want to know who was doing it.
Let's just hope nobody on My
was
Three Sons
Batman doing Batgirl, though? I mean,
well,
I don't even want to know that because she was the first person I ever asked to marry me. She never answered it. But
see, here's the thing. I wonder if Robin ever actually got to do Batman like he wanted to so badly.
I don't know. He's doing the Riddler and the Joker, the Catwoman. I don't know.
The Penguin.
Yeah, Burgess Meredith was in there going, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." Oh, man. This is disgusting. In 2003, a woman found a stolen painting worth $1 million in the trash on a New York City curb.
Wow.
She felt it had power, and she took it without knowing its origin or value. She spent 4 years researching it and discovered it had been stolen in 1987. She got a $15,000 reward plus a percentage of its $1,049,000 sale price. It doesn't say who did the painting, though. I want to know.
It doesn't say who the artist was. It doesn't say where it was stolen from. It doesn't say
2003. I don't know. But still, $15,000 for a piece of trash that you found?
Yeah.
Having blue eyes means you share a common ancestor with every other blue-eyed person in the world.
Yep.
Don't you share a common ancestor with everybody in the world anyway?
I mean...
I don't know.
I would hope so.
Okay. Physicists proved that shooting granny-style free throws is the absolute best technique to score points on the line consistently.
Yep.
But NBA players refuse to do it because it looks stupid.
Yep.
I think somebody should do it.
I would do it.
I would too.
I have done it. And it's because you can balance and you can see and it's all straight and there's none of this crap going. I'm doing movements now. Nobody can see them.
Most effective. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Due to its isolation, a third of the plant life on the island of Socotra, which is in Yemen, is found nowhere else on the planet. It's been described as the most alien-looking place on Earth.
That is so cool. I want to go there.
I don't know.
You wouldn't want to go there?
I don't know. If it's alien-looking, maybe. I don't know. This one also creeps me out. Between the 1940s and the 1970s, Harvard and Yale took nude photos of each entering freshman student.
What?
That's insane.
Why did they take nude photos of them?
I don't know.
What year was this again?
I don't know how they can legally. Between the 40s and the 70s.
No.
Thousands and thousands of pictures were taken of students, including George Bush, Diane Sawyer, Meryl Streep, and Hillary Clinton.
How do they get away with that?
There was so much stuff that people got away with back then that you couldn't do now.
Could you imagine?
But
as part of your college admission,
you have to pose nude.
Pose nude. What?
But I want some of those pictures.
I bet, especially Hillary.
Maybe. Hillary was cute back then.
Yes, she was.
Yeah. George Bush. Frigophobia is the fear of cold things, being cold, or freezing.
Okay.
People with this phobia tend to keep their houses very warm, overdress. I know some people in Atlanta like that. And avoid eating or drinking things that are cold or have ice. My mom has that, I'm pretty sure.
She doesn't like ice in her drinks?
Well, she likes ice. She doesn't like anything cold. She's got frigophobia.
Frigophobia.
Yeah.
Interesting.
After years of competition between Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza, Chuck E. Cheese went bankrupt and was bought by Showbiz Pizza, who then proceeded to rebrand the locations as Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep.
So so weird.
It is weird.
Businesses are crazy.
Businesses are odd. That reminds me, though, I was just thinking about this the other day. There was a pizza place by my house in California. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what the name of it was. It wasn't a chain. I want to say it was that's it. It was called Red Devil Pizza. And it felt like one of those kinds of places because it had a stage. Apparently, they would have music events there sometimes. But
and sacrifice children.
Maybe.
To the devil.
Possibly. But they had this huge organ, like one of those really old style.
Some of us do.
Mm-hmm. No, not a member. An organ, like an actual organ that you play with your fingers with.
Yeah, let's keep going.
And it had knobs on it. Okay. But my mom would take us there when we were little. So obviously it's my mother. I was very little. Mm-hmm. And we would go early evening or wherever. And it was almost always empty. And
because it's the devil pizza.
Devil pizza.
We're going to go have a slice of Satan.
Not nice.
Yeah.
And then I would get up and play that organ like it was the devil playing that organ. Uh-huh. That's possibly why the restaurant was empty.
That's a good reason. All right, speaking of playing with the organ, after hitting his head in the shallow end of a swimming pool, a man awoke with the condition known as acquired musical savant syndrome. He had become a great pianist without ever learning to play. I said pianist.
I heard you.
Without ever learning to play.
That's interesting.
That makes me want to hit my head.
No, it doesn't.
It does. I want to be able to play piano so bad. All right. In 2016, one ultra-rich individual moved from New Jersey to Florida and put the entire state budget of New Jersey at risk due to no longer paying state taxes.
Oh, my gosh.
That doesn't make sense because rich don't pay taxes.
That's true. But what year was that?
It doesn't say. Yeah, it does. This is 2016. Sorry. All right. Piggly Wiggly was the first true self-service grocery store. Before their founding in September 6, 1916, grocery stores did not allow their customers to gather their own goods. Instead, a customer would give a list of items to a clerk who would then go through the store gathering them, which is odd because now we're kind of going back to that. Like you can go and have a clerk at Kroger.
Yeah.
Go get all of your groceries.
You just
put
order
it online. Yeah.
And next thing you know, it shows up at your door.
That used to be the way it was at the Pig.
Because grocery stores used to also deliver. Like that was back then. That was the thing.
They're doing it a little bit
now. And
they're
doing it again.
Piggly Wiggly said, "No, we're going to let the people go get their own stuff."
And you know that you didn't used to be able, and in some states you still can't pump your own gas.
Do you ever shop at the Piggly Wiggly?
I don't think I've ever been to a Piggly Wiggly.
Really?
Wiggly.
There's one, I think in Alabama I went to. I was trying to get a Piggly Wiggly T-shirt, and I went in and I couldn't get a T-shirt. So
it was a Wrigley Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah. Spiders don't have muscles in their legs. Did you know that?
No.
They extend them using a system of hydraulics powered by their blood pressure.
Maybe I had heard that.
When they die, spiders' legs curl up because the blood pressure is gone.
Yeah, that's why spiders are all like...
I think there should actually be music when a spider dies that does that. Like when the witch and the Wizard of Oz died, it should be like...
But see, here's the problem with that.
Okay.
Then you'd know how many spiders are in your house.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
When you get sunburn, it's not your skin cells being damaged by the sun and dying. It's your skin's DNA being damaged by the sun and then killing themselves so they don't turn into cancer.
I didn't know that.
They're like committing suicide.
To save your life.
When you're out in the sun, your DNA commits suicide.
Wow.
It's kind of weird.
Okay.
Britain ended the practice of capital punishment after one of the unjust executions of Timothy Evans for the murder of his wife and daughter. Evans accused his neighbor of committing the crime, who was discovered to be a serial killer years later. Mm-hmm. He had killed 6 other women. Mm-hmm. And instead they put the dude to death. Can you imagine that?
No.
Your family die and then you be accused of it and you know you didn't do it. But it's just like piling on. It's just adding more crap.
But then again, some people wish for death after they lose their family. So
I guess. So let's kill them all.
Let's just kill them.
If your family is lost, then we're...
Wow.
Milk taken from cows at night make you sleepier than milk taken from the day. Did you know that?
can't be true.
It does make a little logical sense though, because it could be something in your body that the cow is like passing on to their calf to make them go to sleep at night.
Oh yeah,
you know,
like a hormone.
Could be. According to an animal study in the Journal of Medicinal Food, night milk, literally milk collected from a cow at night, contains high amount of tryptophan and melatonin, supplements proven to aid sleep and reduce anxiety. But you know, dairy farmers don't milk their cow at night.
No.
I mean, they like usually look really early in the morning.
Dairy farmers don't milk their cows anymore. They have machines that do it.
The machines don't do it themselves. You gotta hook them up. So they do. They call it milking. They may not actually squeeze the teat, but let's leave their wives out of it. Okay. Hey, wait a minute. An Australian man, Don Ritchie, lived across the street from the most famous suicide spot in Australia known as The Gap. Not the store.
Because, I mean, I've wanted to kill myself at the Gap before.
He lived there for almost 50 years, and during that time, he saved at least 160 people from committing suicide by striking up a conversation and inviting them to his house for tea.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
And making them watch him milk his wife. No, that didn't
That
happen.
didn't happen.
Don.
They don't milk their wives in Australia.
Not anymore.
Their wives
right.
milk them.
Yeah. All right. The red flag, when used by pirates, came to mean no quarter given, meaning that no mercy would be shown and no life would be spared, while a black flag usually meant that those who surrendered without a fight would be allowed to live. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't even know about the red flag.
I didn't know they had a red flag.
I didn't either, but now we know.
But
It means you're doomed.
Pirates always wore like a red sash around their head, didn't they?
Some of them did, I guess.
Maybe they just strung that up and they're like, fuck you, I'm killing you.
Could be.
Killing
Do
y'all.
you know what a pill bug is?
Yeah, it's a roly-poly.
Yeah. Pill bugs are not insects, but they're land crustaceans related to lobsters and shrimp.
Yep, I knew that.
They breathe through their gills. They can drink through their anus. Depends on what fraternity they belong to. And excrete gas through their ectoskeleton instead of urinating. They're a party bug, man. You want them at your next party.
Yeah, and then there's that scene in Emperor's New Groove where they eat pill bugs.
Ooh.
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know. Especially they're drinking through their anus. You don't want to put one in your mouth.
And peeing out their ectoskeleton.
Along with blacksmiths, there are whitesmiths who work with tin or other light metals, and brownsmiths who work with brass or copper.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are there any gray smiths?
Could be. You could marry like a smith and you would be a brownsmith.
I would be a brownsmith. But then I'd have to figure out how to work with copper and
Yeah,
bronze.
you don't want to do that.
No.
Meerkats are the most murderous animals on Earth. 20% of all meerkats die at the hand of another meerkat.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're just like
ID channel animals.
Yeah.
Wow.
They should start a show on ID channel about meerkats.
The meerkat
is killing the
I
other
was going to do a whole
meerkat.
thing, but I won't. All right. The oldest recorded "your mom" joke was discovered on a 3,500-year-old Babylonian tablet in 1976.
What's it say?
I don't know. It doesn't say, but I'm dying to know. I don't know. I kind of feel like that. All of it breaks down into two groups of people. There's your mom people, and there's that's what she said people. And I think I'm a your mom person. I'm a mom joke person.
I'm all of the above.
Yeah, you do a lot of that's what she says. I think I do your mom a lot more.
At work, I do your mom all the time.
You hear what I said?
I heard it.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Once a year in parts of England, flying ants migrate. Seagulls catch and eat them and become drunk off the ants' formic acid, causing them to crash into buildings and moving cars. Oh, my God. Isn't nature fun?
So the
awesome.
seagull is flying a little sideways.
Like driving, it's like a vacationer's driving down. You're going, what's the matter? Well, they're eating the termites again.
They're all drunk. Did you know that elephants eat fermented fruit and get drunk?
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, not at all.
They're partying too.
Yep.
Drinking out, sticking the fermented fruit up their butt.
No, those are the frat boys.
While you inherit DNA from both parents, you end up using your father's DNA more. Genetically, you are more like your dad than your mom. Your mom.
Your mom.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I didn't know that. I was trying to think. Okay, never mind.
Did it hurt when you were trying to think?
It hurt. I sprained my head. In 1999, a group of hackers discovered that they could enter any Hotmail account by entering as a password. E-H. All they had to do to break into Hotmail was just put EH as a password. Microsoft fixed it within 2 hours.
I bet they did. Yeah.
I don't know how they found out about it. Nice.
Accident.
This one is sad, but also cracks me up. Before people knew the full effect of the harmful effects of X-rays, women would get face X-rays to kill bacteria. Oh, geez.
Oh, no.
Which would make their skin look healthy and beautiful. In the 1930s, high-dose X-ray machines were a popular method of hair removal.
Yeah, I bet.
Women needed upwards of 15 treatments a year to induce permanent hair removal.
Oh, my goodness.
After a while, people who underwent these treatments started developing tumors on their faces, and some died.
And I bet a bunch of them died.
But they didn't have unwanted hair.
Or they also had very smooth skin.
But
except for the tumors on their faces.
You have such glowy skin. All right. After being in a coma for nearly 8 years, Gary Dockery awoke suddenly.
What?
Spent the day catching up with family. I'm sorry, for 8 years I've been asleep. By the next day, he could no longer speak, and he soon slipped back into the coma and never woke up again.
He was like, oh, screw this. I'm going back to sleep.
Woke up, it's like, well, nothing interesting has happened. I guess I'll go back.
Yeah.
Just one day he got to chat with the family.
Wow.
But, that's what people say. A lot of times somebody dies in their family, and then they're like, if I could just have one more day with them.
Yep.
So they got to do that.
They got that one more day. I wonder if they actually spent it doing what they would spend it with if they...
No, they spent the next day going, if I could just have one more day. Because that's what human beings do.
Exactly.
2 brothers from a set of triplets tricked prison authorities in Russia when one brother swapped places with the other to give him a brief taste of freedom.
Oh, no.
Rather than returning, the free brother ran off with the brother's girlfriend.
Oh, shit.
It took years for authorities to realize they had actually been fooled.
How would you even... Oh, my gosh.
You'd hate your brother for the rest of your
I
life.
would hunt my brother down.
I'm not my brother. And they're like, yeah, sure, shut up.
Even today, all they'd have to do is go, give me your DNA. Yeah, it's you. No. The exact same.
But I don't think DNA, they had that back then.
No, I don't think they did.
When Nathan's famous hot dogs first opened in 1916, the owner hired people to dress as doctors and eat hot dogs outside his shop to convince people his hot dogs were healthy. That's genius.
It is, actually.
That's right. I'm going to have doctors to buy art in my gallery. In 1983, a man confessed to his wife's murder after part of a female skull was discovered in a peat bog near their home in England. I should read it. It's more a little scary.
Scary.
Peat bog.
In England.
That's a great word. He was convicted based on this confession. The skull turned out to be from someone who actually died about 1750 years earlier.
Oh, my God.
In the damn peat bog.
No.
So the guy confessed.
Yeah.
They found the skull, and it wasn't even it.
Wasn't even the one that
and the guy was convicted.
So there were 2 skulls in his peat bog.
No, they don't know why he did it. I just like, okay, yeah, I'll kill my wife. I think he used that accent too.
Probably.
In the 18th century, the wealthy, this is weird.
Okay.
In the 18th century, the wealthy would keep live garden hermits or people that would dress as druids and live in handmade grottos among the properties. They would be used as entertainment, could not cut their hair or nails, and were often treated as sages.
What?
That's so weird.
You would just hire somebody off the street to...
Honey, I'm going to go have dinner with the garden hermit. That's so bizarre.
It's like having your own acting troupe.
It's like hiring a garden gnome. You're making people, I don't know. I hope they paid them well.
Yeah. Interesting.
One evening while rushing for dinner after a long day at the job, Konstantin Fahlberg, a chemist at Johns Hopkins, forgot to wash his hands that had traces of benzoic sulfide. This compound made his dinner taste sweet, and that's how he discovered saccharin.
And liver cancer.
And he died.
Yep.
The town of Shitterton, England.
Shitterton.
Kept getting its town sign stolen. In 2010, they finally solved the problem by placing a 1.6-ton concrete slab with the town name Shitterton inscribed on it.
Steal this, bitch.
I want to move to Shitterton. I don't know where to Shitterton. Shitterton.
Shitterton.
Right. The Shitterton First Baptist Church.
Oh,
the
my
First
gosh.
Baptist Church of Shitterton.
Shitterton.
Yeah, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bodhi tribe in Ethiopia, the most desired men are those with giant bellies. Finally found the place I need to go. If I'm not going to be in Shitterton, I'm going to Bodhi.
There you go.
The more belly you have, the more attractive you are. The champion fat man is then feted as a hero for the rest of his life.
The rest of his life.
Until he goes on a diet.
Or somebody fatter comes along.
You're the fattest man I ever seen. I really want to fet you as a hero.
What is with these accents?
It's the same accent. I don't know. When howling together, no two wolves will howl on the same note. Instead, they harmonize to create the illusion that there are more of them than there actually are.
They're just being spooky.
Yeah, they're trying to fool us.
Just being spooky.
There are only 22 countries in the world that the British have not invaded or attacked.
Wow. That's crazy.
22. Home teams in basketball wear white uniforms because the home team had access to laundry facilities. By wearing gray or another dark color, the visiting team was better able to conceal the stains accumulated on their uniforms throughout the series. That's why they wore brown pants.
That's why they wore the brown pants.
We're the basketball team from Shitterton.
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
And in 1969, this is weird. In 1969, a drunk Richard Nixon ordered a nuclear strike on North Korea for shooting down a spy plane. Henry Kissinger, national security advisor for Nixon at the time, also got on the phone to the Joint Chiefs and got them to agree to stand down on that order until Nixon woke up sober the next morning.
Oh, my gosh.
Nixon, drunk, tried to bomb North Korea.
Wow.
That's all the trivia I have time for today.
That's enough
That's
weird
crazy.
trivia.
Next, they're bombing North Korea, and then they're dropping bombs on Shitterton. Shit bombs on
Shit
Shitterton.
bombs. You sure like that name.
I want to be the diplomat, the Shitterton diplomat.
The embassy guy, the ambassador.
Ambassador, I'm the ambassador to Shitterton.
To Shitterton.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Or mayor of Shitterton. That would be a great job to have.
Oh my God.
It's like the mayor of Simpleton. I'm the mayor of Shitterton.
Well, sounds very much like the mayor of Schitt's Creek.
Well, could be.
Could be.
All right, let's stop this Shitterton.
Shit it off.
What was that? All right, people. We're sorry we did the Shitterton jokes. Speaking of Shitterton, let's talk about this beer.
Okay, let's talk about it. Clearly, you don't care for it.
I do not. I don't care for it at all.
Here's your pen so you can write down your rating.
Yeah, it's everything I pretty much don't. This beer tastes like body odor to me, and it's hard. It doesn't smell like it,
right?
And I don't know why I'm saying it tastes like it because I don't think I've tasted body odor, but it tastes the way body odor smells.
Have you ever licked an armpit?
No.
Okay, you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I also don't really care for it.
I did stay at a motel in Shitterton, though.
Does that make you an expert?
It's a Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn Express.
That's true. So I'm not a fan. Should I go ahead and rate it?
Yep, do it.
1.
1.
Giving it a 1.
Because it's body odor beer.
No, I'm going to give it a 1.5. I will say I've had worse beers than this, so I can't give it the bottom.
Okay.
You
can't. You could in Shitterton.
No, I'm going to say 1.5. It's not what I would call repulsive. I just don't like it at all.
It's just not for
that
you.
make sense?
Yes. Right. You're not going to vomit, but you kind of want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not good.
Gotcha. Again, just for the record, in case you're listening over there at Pontoon Brewing, we're drinking Surf Rock Candy Shandy.
I don't know what a shandy is really, but I also don't know why it's candy. It doesn't taste like candy. It just tastes like candy's body odor. Sorry, Candy.
Sorry, Candy.
Do you know anybody named Candy?
I don't.
I did. I went to high school. A couple of really cute girls named Candy.
Candy Cane?
No, just Candy.
Interesting. I've never known anyone named Candy.
This
is also not candy.
It's not.
This is my rating of this non-candy beer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to go ahead and give it a 2.
Okay. 2.
Because I also did not care for this beer, but I would continue to drink it if it's all I had.
No, it's going down the drain as soon as we cut the show off.
Well, when we're done, I won't drink anymore because we're done, and I can go get water.
What I hate is when we buy these beers, like we buy more than 2 of these, and then so now I'm stuck with a bunch of these. What happens is we'll stick them in the refrigerator, and then 2 months from now, I'm like, oh, I don't remember what this beer's like.
And then you
I try to open drink, and I'm like, oh God, that's awful.
But see, that's why we're having this first Friday.
Yeah, we just
get rid of some of these beers.
Have this.
Yeah.
And some people would like it. I'm not saying
no,
because I know people like this stuff.
Yeah, I just don't very much. Right. Okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We do hope you'll check us out on Facebook. Be a friend. Follow us on Facebook.
Please do.
We're also on Twitter. We're also on Instagram and YouTube and all of those good places. We do have an event coming up in October.
Yes.
This is the Art of the Dead. This is a night of scary stories being read in person, and you can come and show up into our art gallery. Just sit around in costume and listen to scary stories. It'll be fun. There'll be some we might actually have this beer. That's scary.
If that's what you want.
We will have some refreshments and things like that, and you can show up and just hang around, bring a pillow, and lay on the floor, sit on the floor, whatever you want to do, and hear some scary stories
by the candlelight.
Very scary. And
and we need you to write stories for us to read.
We, if you would like, and we really would encourage that you do, you will get to hear your story read in person. Exactly. And we'll be putting up some information about what the requirements of writing the stories will be really, really soon. But just get ready. Get ready. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
We would like for you to subscribe to the podcast so that you can get it delivered to yourself. Every week. And leave us a little rating. We would like to hear from you and know what you think of the podcast.
Also, if you want some stickers, just shoot us an email at thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. Ask for stickers. We'll send them to you.
Should we get some Shitterton stickers?
Yes, we should.
I think we should do This Epic Disaster Shitterton Campus. This is the Shitterton version. Of This Epic Disaster.
It doesn't get much shittier than this.
No, we put the shit in Shitterton.
That's right.
All right, people. Thanks for joining us, for listening. I think we've done everything we're supposed to do.
Yes, we have.
And more.
Yes.
We've done all the damage we can do today.
All of them.
All right. We'll see you next week then, next Monday.
Bye.
Here on this podcast.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Your mom lives in Shitterton.
This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.